Welcome everybody to the MAP session of New Construction, How to Make a Six-Figure Income for Life. I'm Steve Ryder and I'm here with Dan Grebe. He is my co-host, and we're going to be taking you through 4 sessions on new construction. And before we get started, Dan, why don't you introduce yourself and just let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Dan Grebe. I'm a mega agent here in Orlando, Florida. I've been in the business 10 years, and I've been selling new construction properties for the last 3 years, and I've learned it all from Steve Ryder in a course like this. I've been in the top 100 of Gary Keller's agents in all of Keller Williams for the last 7 years, and I've had a lot of experience. I'm really interested in sharing with you on this call.
Perfect, Dan. And you know, guys, I just want to let you know I've been in the business for 40 years, and that's probably longer than some of you are old. But the reason I'm sharing this information with you is Dan has been an absolute superstar in the Orlando market. He actually won last year the #1 sales agent in volume for Lennar Homes. So really an awesome opportunity for you guys to get some knowledge from him. And the way we're going to go through this course, guys, is we're actually going to post the answers when we go through them. So you have a blank copy, but you will be allowed to see the answers, so you can either write them in, or when we're done with this webinar, you can just print them off. And there's a reason for that. Dan, any idea what the reason for that is?
Well, I think the answer is we want our students to become ambassadors, right, Steve?
Absolutely. If we do it in this method, our goal will be create Train the Trainer course. So if we can teach everyone that's on this call to become a true ambassador for new homes, it will enable you to do a 30-minute lunch and learn that we've already done on tape with myself. So all you got to do is play it, and you could do that in your market center. You could also do that at a community with your sphere of influence on a Saturday morning. So again, get your pen out and get ready to start writing, because we're going to give you all kinds of information. And the statistics that we share with you may be nationwide statistics. So what you'll be wanting to do is write down some questions that you can go seek out these answers for your local market. Let's move to the first session, and I'll give you an example of that. Go ahead. All right, so we look at the benefits of selling new homes, and what we're going to be doing today is Dan and I are going to go back and forth. We're going to do some role playing. We're going to interject some different commentary on what we feel is important for you guys to jot down in notes. And so if you look at this and we talk about how old is a typical resale home, if you're looking across the United States on a national basis, nationwide the average is 1990. And in 1990, considering we're in 2016, that makes it a 26-year-old home. And Dan, you've been selling some homes for a while, not probably that long, but is energy efficiency even in the dialogue when you talk about homes that were built in the 80s or 90s?
Oh yeah, it's definitely coming up, becoming a major issue. Here in Florida, we have even older homes in the 1990s. We have these things called jalousie windows, and those are a major issue here. And energy efficient conversations come up more and more, especially with the advent of new construction in the area.
Perfect. And as we go through this course, we will take session number 3 and get very technical, and we'll talk about good, better, and best as it relates to windows and insulation and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, if you look at number 2 and you talk about what is the energy efficiency of a home today, again, they are not nearly as energy efficient, even from 2005. From 2005, when we had the downturn first start and we started seeing a plummet in new home construction, we saw that builders at that time were making a lot of profit margin, and so it wasn't until they had a 2 or 3 year downturn that it really got to what they have never seen before, where they had to actually battle it out to stay in the business, and they had to up their game, didn't they, Dan? And to stay in business, did they have to get more energy efficient? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at that chart, Dan, and we'll just talk about real quickly what happened. And the chart that we're going to put up, guys, is a new construction housing chart. And this housing chart goes all the way back to 1975. And I want you to pay attention to the blue shaded area. Now, in the blue shaded area, if you look at the bottom, that's in hundreds of thousands, so you can see the bottom of the market from 2009 back to 1975. We've always built 1,000,000 homes at the bottom of our market. And at the top of the market, we build almost 2,000,000 homes. Dan, take a look at what happened. And you see down there where it got really crazy, that's when the real battle began between the builders, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, here we're seeing your typical market correction. So you saw a run up in 2003, 2004, 2005, and then you saw the decline right there after 2005, and it bottoming out in 2011, and now we're seeing a pretty sharp incline, and this is your typical market correction.
You know, and it's interesting that you say that, Dan. Let's talk about supply before we switch back to our session. In the top of the market, if you look back in 2005, it was estimated that across the United States there was a surplus of homes of approximately 1,000,005. So because it was taking a long time for builders to build homes, anywhere from 10 to 12 months, they weren't the ones that were creating the excess inventory. It was the what we call dinner party investors that were buying 5, 10, 15 homes at a time with an 80-20 loan, not putting any money down, and those are the guys that ended up losing their homes. But if you say we had a 1.5 million overage and we have to build 1,000,000 homes to stay constant, look down in 2010, we only built 500,000. 2011, we only built 300,000 homes. 2012, we only built 500,000. If we're supposed to be building 1,000,000 homes, we're now not only to break even, but we're in a deficit. So let me ask you, Dan, when you have a deficit of anything or a lack of supply in anything, what typically happens to the price?
When we have a lack of supply, the prices start going up.
Absolutely. So guys, we gave you this chart to take a look at because these are the facts. And what we're going to do is we go through and role play this for you. You'll hear the actual dialogue that Dan or myself would actually use in the street if we were talking to a customer. So this is one of the charts that we absolutely refer back to really have a graphic impact on people and have them see the opportunity. And again, if you do the right dialogue and you use the right scripts and you say to someone, now let me ask you, when there's a shortage of anything, what happens to the price? And let them answer, it goes up. So let's go back to the outline. And the next question that we talk about is appreciation. And quite honestly, Dan, in the first 3 to 5 years, new homes go up more in that short amount of time than they do really in their whole building cycle. Any idea why that happens?
Well, it's usually because demand starts to increase in the area as a result of the new community, as well as the favorability of a newer home over a used home.
Absolutely, and people start talking to one another. The actual time frame, and this is what's interesting, guys, the time frame that a person buys and builds a new home is 4 to 6 months. A person that buys a resale home is 60 days. The opportunity to show your friends in a resale is maybe an hour to 2 hour window. The opportunity to show your friends in a new home is probably 1,000 hours. So there's much more opportunity in a new home for friends to show their friends, their colleagues, their coworkers, everybody they can, family, etc. And so there's going to be a tremendous opportunity that we're going to be talking to you about later, and utilizing that opportunity because it's new construction and they're open 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, it's going to give you an opportunity to make more money. Number 4, the transaction that brings you more money is new construction. New construction right now, the average sale price is about $320,000, and the resale price is about $220,000. But we'll also talk to you about total housing expense because the new home is so much more energy efficient. That really comes into play. Dan, why don't you take the next couple of questions and just tell me what you think about why we should sell new homes and the advantages of new homes and as it relates to the consumer.
Sure. So what type of transaction typically will bring the most money is new construction. And here's what I want people to know. When you feel like a builder doesn't need you, just hang in and stay relevant and keep contacting them and stay involved with them because the market always will turn. And remember, real estate is local, so it'll turn in your local area oftentimes before it does nationally. And when the market turns and they do need you, they will pay you handsomely and they will give you all the opportunities you've been begging for. The next one is what type of transaction will be easier and less liability attached to it, and that's new construction. And the reason why behind that is because new construction is typically handled by their expert, and you're just there to kind of assist with the process. The next one is what type of home has the energy efficiency, floor plan, community safety, craftsmanship, and demographic benefits, and it's always new construction. And the last one for me is what is your role as a real estate agent, which is show both new and resale homes. Obviously, you want to be the expert of choice in the area, and the more you differentiate yourself with the builder as well as your clients as being an expert, the more referrals you'll see from both.
You know, you're right, Dan, and when it comes to energy efficiency and floor plans, they're so much different today. Energy efficiency has gone from maybe what we call a SEER rating of 8 to 10 to 14 to 16, so it's doubled in energy efficiency. The floor plans are now the great room floor plans that are much more open, better than they used to be. And again, opportunity, guys. When you show a new home, you're going to have twice the opportunity for a repeat and referral business. And if you're trying to really do your job, you should be showing both new and resale, and you should have expertise in both. Let's go to the next page. Obviously, the two types of leads we're trying to generate through our website are both buyer and seller leads. And buyer leads are pretty much self-explanatory. That's any time a buyer wants to buy a new home. And there's going to be opportunities that we're going to show you that you could do a lease buyout, working with an apartment complex. You may represent the buyer and make a $7,500 commission, and you need to satisfy a lease for maybe 1 or 2 months, so you pay $2,000 to satisfy the lease and you net $5,500. So there's lots of different niches with buyers and lots of niches with sellers. If someone has a home they want to sell before they buy, then you have two opportunities there. So, you know, guys, at the end of the day, the reason we're doing this, our whole purpose for the website and be able to teach you how to sell new construction is how to use your website. Your website will generate leads. We're going to show you a process to do that. Each and every Friday, you're going to do New Home Friday. And think about it that you're sending this website to your data bank. Think of your database as a bank, and the more deposits that you make, the more withdrawals you'll be able to make down the road. So we're going after both. You know, here in our tutorial, when Janet goes through everything, we're going to show you that we have a 33 touch campaign. We're going to talk a little bit about BombBomb. I'm going to have Janet show you just a quick BombBomb video that I did. And the nice thing about BombBomb or any video is you get, look at the stats, you get 20-30% more conversion if you do a video. And the nice thing about utilizing BombBomb is it will notify you either by email or text the minute that someone in your data bank opened it, and then you can immediately call them and use this line. I would say, hey Dan, this is Steve Ryder. Hey, I just sent you a video with my new home site. I just wanted to make sure that you got it and it didn't go to your spam. Did you happen to get that, Dan?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Do you have just a couple minutes to run through it, or would it be better if I give you a call back?
No, you can call me. You can talk to me right now.
Okay. Could you pull up my website on your computer real quick?
Sure.
And
what
Janet,
is it again?
Yeah, Janet, why don't you go ahead and pull it up? So this is what Dan would be pulling up. He'd either have it in front of him, hopefully he's still got it up, or I would give him my URL. But let's just assume that he's got it. Janet, can we go ahead and play my video? Are they able to see that?
They are able to see it. The sound may not be great, but let's play it.
Hi, Gary. It's Steve Ryder. Hey, I just wanted to shoot you a quick video email for the name of the face.
All right, go ahead and stop it. Everybody gets the idea. So what I did, guys, is I actually did an introductory email, and this was a sample sent to Gary Keller, so it's me talking to Gary, Mary, and their son John, and them moving from Austin to Phoenix, so I could work with them on taking over Keller Williams. No, just kidding, just kidding. But anyway, it's great to be able to send a personalized video, and again, utilize all the tricks of the trade that BombBomb has as far as you being notified. So let's go back to our session, and again, Janet here has our website up, so that shows you an example of some of the different things that we can do. But let's go ahead and go back to our session, Janet, and we'll continue on. All right, so let's go to the next session. All right, so what we want to do now is quickly run through 10 different reasons why a buyer or why a realtor would want to sell a new home. And we actually have 20 reasons on our website. So let's just kind of run through. You go ahead and start, Dan, because these are not only are they fundamental and they sound simple and ridiculous, but they're actually, these are very, very good reasons why you should go ahead and sell new homes. So why don't you begin, Dan?
Absolutely. Number one is it's easy because the on-site agent does most of the work. And what I'd like to offer a little coaching tip here is when you're working in new construction, oftentimes you're going to get paid a little bit more than you would in a retail sale. It's not uncommon for them to offer bonuses, additional commissions, things like that. So when you're used to making $6,000, you make $10,000, and you don't have to do a lot of work. You don't write the paperwork. You don't have to be there for inspections. You don't have to even line them up with a mortgage person because typically the builder has one. You feel like you haven't earned your money. What you'll find is that sometimes the necessity to kind of get involved. Don't get involved unless it's in your client's best interest, and definitely don't resist the urge to create drama. You'll find that agents oftentimes create drama just because they have to find a way to justify what they're getting paid. You're getting paid for your knowledge. That's what you're getting paid for. So just be okay with the higher commissions and work with your sales agent, not against them. Here's what we know. The on-site sales agents only get paid if you get paid. And their objective is to sell the home at a price that makes sense for both the buyer and the seller. Number two, no inspection problems. Very rarely will you find inspection problems, and the reason behind that is because the builder will do an inspection of their work themselves, and then they typically have a third-party inspection company that comes in and inspects it as well. So by the time the buyer goes and does their walkthrough, it's been inspected at least 2 times prior to. Very few lawsuits for agents because of builder warranties. That covers a lot. Great opportunities for multiple transactions as they show their friends, family, and coworkers these homes. And as I've mentioned before, if you're not already doing some type of housewarming party, this is a great opportunity to do it. Do a housewarming party at a new construction home. Everybody wants to see the new finishings and furnishings of these new construction homes. A lot of people use that as the example for the remodel at their own home. So you'll get traffic at that. And also a little side tip is the builder rep will oftentimes supply, whether it's some drinks or food, or pay for the whole event if you communicate with them and invite them. Number 5, many areas of expertise to specialize in types of buyers. That's a simple answer there. Repeat and referral business. You will get repeat and referral business. When people buy new homes, they talk about them. When they talk about them, you have to teach them to refer you. Number 7, easy to establish internet presence through SEO with proper website. We're going to actually provide you with a website and the tools to use it. Number 8, having new home knowledge and floor plans provided for better open house opportunities. Here's another little tip. Write this down. When you're going to these new communities, take every copy of the floor plans you can get, store them away in a digital format so that in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you go back to that community to do a listing, you can pull out those floor plans and go, oh, look, you're the Casanova model, or you're the St. Augustine model. I know everything about this model. I'd be happy to help you sell your home. It'll give you a competitive advantage as a listing agent. After that, we've got higher commissions due to higher price points. And the last one is provide a more energy efficient home for your buyers. Steve, what's your thought on all this?
You know, Dan, you are so well versed and so knowledgeable on this stuff that I don't think you realize sometimes when you're giving people what they would call golden nuggets that you really even know that you're giving 10 or 15 times when you're speaking. So let's just drill down a couple things that you mentioned, because we've had some questions on this, and I want people to understand the true benefits of working with builders. When we talk about repeat and referral business, number 6, that's done on purpose. Absolutely 100% starts with that housewarming party. As Dan mentioned, to do a good housewarming party, you need to offer 2 or 3 different menus. You need to let them know that they can give you their email addresses of all their friends, and you will handle the evite. You'll work with the builder, make sure that the builder's represented. Maybe they want to come over and say something at the party. Like Dan said, that's a little golden nugget that if they come over and talk and say, welcome to the neighborhood and blah, blah, blah on behalf of Pulte Homes, they may actually pay for it. You also want to invite the people in the neighborhood so they get an opportunity to come meet their neighbor, because you're going to want to eventually market to these people when they go to sell their home in 2 to 3 to 5 years. So when we talk about repeat and referral business, we're talking not only while they're building, but also once they close and then after they close. And the other thing that I'd like to mention in regards to open house opportunities, as Dan mentioned, you want to be the aggregator of everything. You want to keep the CC&R, so if someone needs a copy, you've got them. Let everybody know that you have a copy. You want to keep the public report. You want to keep each and every price sheet, if you can, with the date on it, so you can go back and say, listen, you folks bought back here in the beginning of the community and your base price was $257,000. It's a year and a half later and your base price has gone up to $357,000. You're sitting on some equity. Would you like to sell your home, possibly trade up to another new one? So there's going to be all kinds of dialogue if you become the new home expert. As Dan says, don't get in the way. Be an alternative and a resource for information, and all you need is our website to be the resource. Let's go to the next page. Okay, these are just some notes. Top 10 reasons a buyer should buy a new home. Now listen, guys, we've got 10 reasons. We actually have 20 reasons. So we're going to give you a blog every single Friday for New Home Friday. You can title, when you send out the blog, you can send it out separately. You can do the New Home Friday campaign. You can title every week to your people with the top reason why they should buy a new home, and change it every week. So you know it's fun, you know they get to design it, and it's under warranty. That is truly one of the reasons why a person buys a new home. And here's the deal, write this down. Once someone buys a new home, they typically from now on will buy another new home, and then another new home, and then another new home. So it gives you a great opportunity as you're continuing to further your horizons on selling new homes. Now you see, again, more repeat and referral business as you notice the trends of a buyer. Dan, you want to take a couple of these?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, before I do, Steve, these aren't just top reasons why a buyer should do it for information for one of our agents. This is information that you want to share with your buyers. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, may I share with you a few reasons why I think a new home might make sense for you? And then you can go through some of these. So write these down, not just for, you know, realtor knowledge, but also for when you're actually talking to buyers about buying their new home and possibly buying new construction.
You
What
know,
number are we
Dan,
on? Number 2?
hold on, Dan. It's interesting you say that. So perfect segue. If you're sitting in a resale home, and you're sitting in a resale home and it has a lot of work to do, and it's an older home and it needs to come up to snuff. Look at number 6. The buyer says, you know, boy, a lot of work to be done. Do you think they brought the electric up to code? And what do you think it's going to cost me to bring this thing up and running? The superior safety codes of a new home and the designs of a new home, all this information, guys, gives you one-line reasons why a person should buy new as opposed to remodeling, or buying a resale. So sorry to interrupt, Dan, but you're just doing such a great job. Every once in a while I got to chime in because you've made a great point. Go ahead.
No problem. And here's the other thing to remember, guys. This class is being taught to, what we have, maybe 100 people on this call, or what, I don't know the size of our group exactly, but there's 100,000 agents in Keller Williams. So you're just a small segment. You're the specialists. You know more than anybody else knows. And you're going to be hearing things on this call that 2 of the top agents in all of Keller Williams are talking about. Why? Because we know the path to the money. We know the path to the new opportunities. You can keep doing what everybody else is doing, or you can swim away from the crowd, and that's what we're teaching you here. So we'll go to number 2. Floor plan is designed for you and your family and your lifestyle. Number 3, everything is new, never used, and selected by you. People love that. More energy efficiency saves thousands over time, and that's one of the mitigators between buying new construction that's more expensive over buying a retail or used property. And a lot of times the buyer will not buy based on the price of the home, they'll buy based on how much it costs them monthly. So even though a new home may cost a little bit more monthly, you can show them based on the utilities and the savings that they're going to have, but that number is actually negligible, and it makes more sense. Number 5, new home costs less to run and maintain, just as I spoke about. Number 6, superior safety, code, and design. We talked about that with Steve. Advanced technology and energy-saving appliances. Again, we talked about that. The technology is always fun. They love playing with the gadgets. Quicker appreciation over the first 5 years. That's key. A lot of folks are going to move in the first 5 years, and they're going to want to be in a place of equity. Number 9, special financing incentives, which are almost always offered. And number 10, periodic inspection and code checks. Steve, back to you, my friend.
So it's so interesting that you say that. So let's talk about each situation. You're a realtor. You're working with a buyer. The buyer doesn't have enough money for closing cost. As a new home ambassador, you know number 9 works for your buyer because there's special financing incentives. Many, many times a builder will pay all the closing costs for a buyer, or they'll have incentives that you can maybe move into a different direction. You've got a buyer that comes to you and says, hey, I move and get relocated on a regular basis. I'd like you to put me in a home that I have the best opportunity for appreciation. Number 8, did you know that there's a quicker appreciation in the first 5 years if you buy new? Advanced technology and energy-saving appliances. When you're talking about monthly payment, if you're buying a resale home and they have not updated the kitchen, that's $20,000. You need to punch that into your calculator, and at best you're going to get a 5-year loan, and you're going to probably pay about 7%. So what's a 5-year loan for $20,000 at 7%? Add that into the cost of the old electricity payments and all of that, and all of a sudden you're going to see that the advantages of buying new are by far better. So again, guys, these give you dialogue, and dialogue as a realtor is most important. And when it comes to fighting resale, there's no competing offers. You don't have multiple offers, guys. You have a buyer that gets to buy a lot, gets to put down his money, and he builds the home. In that 4 to 6 month build time, it allows you as a business person to create a pipeline. Here's an example of pipeline. Last year in 2015, not only we did $3.4 million in gross commission income, but in 2016, before we sell one house, we had $1.9 million in gross commission income in the pipeline. So if you think about that, guys, could you imagine going into a year where you already have $1.9 million in escrow before you ever sell a house? Let's go to the next page. Dan, what do you think about that?
I think that this is a life-changing opportunity and a life-changing scenario. I think that this should not be taken lightly, and do not believe that this is not a possibility for you. This, what Steve's talking about are absolutely astronomically high numbers, maybe numbers that you've never dreamed of. But remember, every expert was once an amateur. Every seasoned veteran was once a rookie. If you're not the seasoned veteran, if you're not the expert, you're starting in the right place, and now start building your life around that.
All right, guys, here's a special treat. The next couple of pages are an interview, and you read things like this, and you say, God, it just sounds so candid, and it just sounds so, like it's a script. So Dan and I asked Dan if he wouldn't mind if I did a role play with him, and he said absolutely. So I am going to be the realtor, and Dan is going to be the client. Dan's going to call me and ask me if I can help him buy a new home as opposed to a resale. So this is going to be a dialogue that you guys get to listen to as I take the script and turn it into a new home script and ask him questions that lead back to new home dialogue. Because he wants me to talk new homes, I need to be the expert. So let's do a role play. Hello, this is Steve Ryder from Keller Williams. How may I help you?
Hi, Steve. My name is Dan. I'm looking to buy a new home.
Dan, okay, great. And are you here locally in the Scottsdale area?
I am.
Okay. And let me just got a couple of quick minutes, Dan, so I can just ask you some quick questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Is it going to be just for you, Dan? Is there someone else that will be making this decision with you?
My wife and I will make the decision, but she's put me in charge of doing all of the legwork to find out the details.
Aha, okay. And what is your wife's name?
Her name is Mindy.
Mindy. And do we have any children, Dan?
I do. I have a 13-year-old boy. His name is Riley, and I have an 11-year-old boy. His name is Drew.
Boy, you have your hands full. At least you've got Mindy outnumbered 3 against 1, right?
That's exactly right. And from the parenting perspective, we're still in single coverage. It's man-to-man coverage. So we can handle it.
Perfect. So what kind of home are you looking for, Dan? You say you want new. What are you looking for? Single level, 2-story?
Well, I'm really just looking for a home that's going to support my family's needs. And, I'm looking to get a good deal on the home. And, I've heard that you can buy directly from the builder, but I think I need some representation. I don't exactly understand the process.
Perfect, Dan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions, and once I go through this quick interview with you, what I'd like to do is then come meet you and Mindy personally and like to interview Riley and Drew, find out if they've got anything that they feel is important for them as it relates to the move. And what we'll do is I've got a website that is a new home website specifically, and it's really a 3-in-1 site. Number one, when I send it to you, you're going to be able to look for new homes locally and nationally. So if you have any friends or relatives or colleagues that want to buy a new home locally or nationally, they can use the site as well. Number two, it's going to have my Keller Williams app on it, which is a great app for your phone, which allows you basically to point at any property that's for sale, and it'll give you all the information. And just so you know, our Keller Williams app, unlike Trulia or Zillow, is about 24 to 48 hours ahead of all the other websites in regards to information, so you'll get it quicker and more accurately through us. And third of all, I have something very unique on my website, so if you actually buy a home through me, I can pay for the model to be digitized, and you're going to actually be able to go in and with a photo of your kitchen, go in and be able to manipulate all the colors of the countertops, the cabinets, all kinds of stuff, and I'll show you that when we get together. So 2 more minutes here, and I just got a couple more quick questions for you. Do you have a location that you and your family have zeroed in on?
We would like to live over near the new high school.
Highland High School?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Highland's one of the best rated schools. It absolutely has not only academics, but it's got really good athletic ratings. Do your boys play any sports at all?
Yes, both of my boys play soccer.
Ah, that may be the reason you're going over there. They were state champs last year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my youngest son has a good chance of making the varsity team.
Oh, that's awesome. Boy, I tell you, it makes you so proud when your boys do well, doesn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Okay, real quick, any personal needs that you have for your home? Is you going to have any relatives living with you? Do we have any handicap, anything special that we need to worry about in the new home? Because when we're building it from scratch, you can do just about anything you want.
No, we would like to have a pool and a master bath that has a jacuzzi tub in it, but other than that, we're pretty open.
Okay, and when you buy through me, some of the advantages that I'm going to show you is when we get to a lot selection, I can help you there. When we talk about upgrades, I can help you there. By having a third party actually represent you, when it comes to negotiation time, I can help you a little bit there. And if you have a house to sell, I can give you a little bit of a discount if you have a house to sell and you buy through me. Do you guys currently own a home?
We do.
Oh, perfect. And are you going to sell that one, or are you going to rent it? What are you guys thinking of doing with your old home?
Well, we really would like to know what our home is worth, and then what our options are in terms of renting as well. We're going to make the best decision. We're just not sure of the numbers.
Perfect, perfect. And what is your current address, just real quick?
It is 1191 Falling Pine Court here in Scottsdale.
Okay, and what's the zip?
1234.
Okay, perfect. All right, so when are you guys thinking you want to move?
Well, before the beginning of the school year, so what does that give us, about 7 or 8 months at this point? I know it'll take a while to build up.
Yeah, if we're going to do new build, we probably need to get out now, so let's go ahead and schedule an appointment for this weekend, and I'll come over and sit down with you again. I'll go through my site. We have a new thing on our site called a Universal Co-Broke, and it's actually the best thing since Uber. It allows me to not only represent you, but we consent to work together. You get a copy on your phone, I get a copy on my phone, and then you get to go with your wife Mindy and go out looking for new homes, and you still have representation when you walk in. You just show them my phone and all my information, and that'll allow me to participate in getting paid, which will allow us to give you a discount on the sale of your home. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, I get it.
Perfect. Just a couple more questions. Are your kids happy about moving? Are they excited about moving over to Highland High School?
I think they're a little bit nervous, but overall they're happy because they've heard great things about the school and the soccer team.
Okay. And if I could just have page number 11 here, that would be great. And Dan, let me ask you just a couple more things. Have you, when we work with a builder, they typically are going to have a mortgage company that they work with. Have you run numbers with anyone at all yet, or do you need me to help you with that?
No, I have not run the numbers with a mortgage broker yet. I could use some help with that.
Perfect. Okay. And as far as your down payment, are you going to take that out of your house, or do you already have that saved up?
Well, we saved up some money, but if we need to, we can sell our house for it as well.
Perfect. And I tell you what I'd like to do, rather than keep you on the phone any longer, I've got your phone number at 602-363-5100, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And for this weekend, is it better for Saturday or Sunday?
I've got time on Saturday.
Okay. You want to do it in the morning or the afternoon?
I think I'll do the afternoon.
Okay. You want to do about 1 or is 2 o'clock a little bit better?
I think 2 o'clock would be better.
Perfect. And do you mind just setting aside about 15 minutes or so, maybe 30 max, depending on the questions you might have?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm going to shoot you a quick email that'll have an ebook that shows you all the different reasons why you should have me represent you and the benefits of working with a realtor, and also some of the benefits on why now is a good time to buy a new home. Do you have a quick email address for me, Dan?
Yeah, it's dan@gmail.com.
Perfect. Okay, guys, we just did a live role play for you. Let's go to the next page, Janet.
Hey, Steve, when you were doing the role play, one of the things that I noticed is you repeated back the answers, you affirmed them, you never made me wrong, but you kept asking me which would you rather do, this or that. this one or that one? What's the theory behind that?
You know, Dan, very observant. That's called a witch close. And always when we talk sales, some people say, you know, if you're going to close 3 times. Some people say, you know, if you're going to get a no, wait till you get 10 no's, or you'll get 9 no's before you get a yes. In the world of sales, guys, if you can ever do something that gives you an opportunity for a witch close, you're a success always 100% of the time. A witch close is giving someone 2 right answers, and you don't care which one they choose. So when Dan said something, I'd say, well, what's better for you, Dan, during the week or on the weekend? I don't care. He said weekend. I said, great. Would you rather do Saturday or Sunday? I don't care. Now, if I did care, I'd say, you know, Dan, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, it looks like Sunday's completely booked for me. I'm fully committed at 2, 4, and at 6. Would Saturday work for you in the morning, or is the afternoon better? So I would give him a reason why I'm fully committed, make me sound busy by quoting some appointment times, and then do a witch close for the day that I actually want to move him to. So very, very good, Dan. I really appreciate you mentioning that. And now what we're going to do, guys, is Janet is going to take over, and she is going to run you through the website. We try and make sure that we give you approximately 35 to 40 minutes of information in regards to education and the do's and don'ts on how to sell new home construction. Then we switch to our website, and we're going to give you approximately 20 minutes of tutelage, if you will, on the website. One thing that you remember on the website is everything is on a tutorial, so you can take notes, but it's best just to listen as best you can, and then if nothing else, know where to go to how to get to the tutorial so you can listen to the tutorial and take it from there. You know, Dan, it's really been awesome having you on the call today. I'm looking forward to our next 3 sessions together. You're always a wonderful co-host and just a wealth of information. So I just wanted to reach out again and say thank you. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I'd like to leave the folks that are listening with this call to know that Steve and I are both real estate agents. And we felt a lot of the struggles you felt over time. We felt the growing pains, and sometimes we still do. Just know that the people that get to the higher levels are the ones that never quit. They keep innovating, they keep growing, and they keep pressing on. So keep pressing on, keep innovating, keep growing, and thank you for letting us be one of the sources in which you do so. If you need anything from me, please post your questions on Facebook. I'll answer them usually daily, or Steve will. And if you have any personal issues that you need to go over with me or Steve, you can email us or hit me up directly on Facebook or go through Basecamp. Okay, guys, till next week, I'm going to sign off.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. This is Steve Ryder, Scottsdale, Arizona, saying goodbye for now. We'll see you next week.